Yo, I hope you're doing well, and I hope you enjoyed last week's upload, Sessions Episode 3. For the team and I, it's been an amazing year working on these 3 videos, and the third one was the most challenging of all, which was a great note to end things off on. Highland is a super special place for me, and this year I was fortunate enough to help design and build a new trail in this area called the Dirt Pipe. Originally, this Dirt Pipe zone was built for the Neural Disorder films back in the day, and those were the kind of videos that got me stoked riding growing up. And then in 2020, my good friend Jackson Riddle and I built a quarter pipe up there, which we were just super stoked on. You know, after a couple years of that quarter pipe being there, it kind of caught on, and then all of a sudden Highland was down to resurrect this area and make it into a trail, and thankfully the team and I were able to be a part of it. Going into this project, I knew that this was going to be a huge undertaking and a significant learning curve for the crew and I. We started planning this back in January or February with the Highland crew, going through some preliminary trail designs and things like that. And we ended up shooting in August, and until I got home from that shoot, this had been on the top of my brain all the months before. It was something I was looking forward to, but it was definitely nervous about. Till you wrecked my soul. Despite any level of stress that I had going into this project, upon arriving at Highland, it was so amazing to have such an amazing group of people around. All of these people came from different walks of my life, and seeing them all come together to work towards a common goal and work together so well was just incredible to see, and a great reminder of how important the people in your circle are. On the build crew, Jamie, Nick, and Zach I've all known since I was a kid, and to some extent we all grew up around Highland. And on the other end of the spectrum, Jared and Harry on the film crew I know from my life outside of Highland. And despite all the things that went wrong on this project over the 10 days, this group of people absolutely held it down and were such a great group to work with.
Yesterday's run down the hill, man. Shit got rowdy. It made a noise I've never heard before.
When we arrived at Highland, there were a few features that had been roughed in with the excavator, but it was muddy and definitely far from rideable. On top of that, we had some serious rain forecasted for the time that we were gonna be there, and we were pretty stressed. Thankfully, we didn't let it get to our heads too much, and we made the most out of every single day. Each day, things got a little closer to being rideable. It was all shaping up, and spirits were definitely on the rise. At this stage of the build, watching Nick and Zach operate the excavators was such a fun experience. They've operated together a bunch in the past, and that was super clear when we were watching them work. Zach was in the big excavator, and then Nick was in the small one with the tilt rotator bucket, and they would be working in such tight proximity at times, and it just seemed like they were talking to each other, and they weren't even talking to each other. It was so cool to see. It was clear that they had their program dialed. Zach would rough things in, Nick in the small machine would shape it up, get it as close as he could. And even though we didn't get the whole trail done in this time, they were able to get most of it roughed in. And watching them work through that whole section, even despite the features being quite technical to build, they just absolutely crushed it, and it was very eye-opening to see what they could do in the excavators.
Jamison, I'm the marketing director here at Highland Mountain Bike Park. We're up here with Pete and crew, rebuilding the dirt pipe, and it's going to be awesome.
It's really cool. Probably the coolest thing here.
pretty good day. day. Everything finally dried up enough for us to actually pack some of the pits, which has been awesome. I feel like we've been waiting to do that pretty much since we showed up. And yeah, I mean, got everything like pretty rough shape, packed in with the quad, pretty ready to like give it some test wax, see how it actually is. So that's pretty exciting. I mean, that's always my favorite part. So I'm feeling pretty good.
On top of the trail that we were building for this project, we really wanted to provide a bit more context to the story and show what Highland was like as an entire park outside of just the little zone that we were mostly focused on. So to accomplish this, in between our day-to-day digging sessions, we were hitting the park to stack some more riding footage. After many years of filming at Highland from the age of 12 up until now, I'm 23, it sometimes begins to feel like I've shot just about everything there is to shoot in the bike park. So for this shoot, to overcome this, we mixed things up by filming with a cable cam at both the dirt jumps and up on the bike park trails, which is a good challenge for the filmers and me to work together, and it creates a very exciting visual when we nail it. And on top of that, I did my best to push myself riding and get creative in a few just unique, subtle ways that I knew would stoke me out at the end of the day when I watched the video.
Yeah, I'm stoked on it.
After about a week of digging, things were looking up, and it was looking like Jamie and I were gonna be able to start testing some features. Typically, guinea pigging or testing new features is a very careful process for me, and I'm very cautious with my riding. However, in this case, I think I was just a little too stoked, and nothing we had built really scared me. So I left my guard down and ended up taking a huge crash. I was just rolling into the step down, decided just to do a speed check and roll over the lip. And then I went to bunny hop into the landing, ended up pushing into some mud and just got sent head first to the bottom, landed on my shoulder super hard. Thankfully my head was okay, but it definitely killed my morale. At first, I hit the ground and was just laughing. It was such a silly crash and happened so fast. I was in disbelief, really. And then I got untangled from my bike, stood up, walked around for a few minutes, and my shoulder really started to tense up. And then by the time we made it to the Airbnb, I couldn't really move it at all. Couldn't even hold my phone in that hand. And I was convinced that I wasn't gonna be able to ride. I crashed on a Thursday. Took Friday as a rest day, and with some rain on the forecast for Sunday, Saturday was our only opportunity to give this our best shot. And miraculously, I woke up Saturday morning feeling pretty good to go. Not 100%, but good enough to ride, and I was just so thankful. I was riding super timid at first, didn't quite know what had happened to my shoulder, so I was just trying to feel for some symptoms, and after maybe 10-15 minutes, I was like, okay, I'm good to go, nothing's torn, it's holding in there. Did a few tricks and started to feel like myself, and we got the footage that we needed. Having Jamie there to ride with was super special for me. I've always looked up to his riding and think he's just one of the raddest bike riders I know. And having Julian there as well really lifted my spirits. It's gonna be so cool to see what he does on those features in a few years. Being surrounded by people who inspire me to ride doesn't happen every day, so this session was definitely a special one. That feeling I had that Thursday night after my crash, sitting there thinking I wasn't going to be able to ride, was really hard on me. And in reflection, it just boils down to the fact that I care so much about riding and about the project we were working on. But at the end of the day, it really made me thankful for the people that I had around to be able to share the experience with in this whole 10 days. It was so special. And also as a solid reminder of just how thankful I was to even be in the position to help with this trail. Without Zach, Nick, Jordan, Jared, Harry, Jamie, and the rest of all the people at Highland, this project wouldn't have come to life in the first place. I'm just super thankful for all those people. I hope you enjoyed Sessions Episode 3, the main video, as well as this behind the scenes look into how this came to be. Thanks for watching, thanks for the support, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.